traditions of college football in Boston is the pre-game clam chowder. That's right, but you can't put just anything in it and call it clam chowder. You need just the right mix, and that's what we have on the field today. Two teams looking for just the right winning formula. And welcome everyone to Alumni Stadium, Chestnut Hill, Massachusetts. The crowd being worked into a frenzy. Over 44,000 strong as number 18 Clemson takes on Boston College in this, the ACC regular season opener for both teams. And a new tradition here at Boston College, connecting with their bronze statue of the Golden Eagle. Hey everybody, I'm Mark Jones, along with David Norrie. Stacey Dale's joining us in just a few. Now, partner, we're just 9 days into the month of September. Already we're talking about this being a critical stretch for Clemson. A lot of it rides on the starting quarterback's arm, Will Proctor.
Well, and Will Proctor, he had his dress rehearsal last week against Florida Atlantic. We're going to find out a lot about Will Proctor in the next 2 weeks. A young quarterback's first big test on the road is really the acid test of how he's going to play. And in September, he gets two big games. Boston College this afternoon, next week at Florida State. It'll be interesting to see the way he reacts against the noise and the changes of momentum this afternoon.
He's talked all week about being able to seize the moment. Meanwhile, on the other side of the field, hey, Matt Ryan of Boston College, their quarterback, had one of those magical Michael Jordan moments under adversity last week in defeating Central Michigan. He sprained his ankle, didn't practice until Thursday, just a few days ago, but he is ready to go. That came in just a few moments ago. He has a lot of work to do today.
Well, and I think it's critical that Boston College has Matt Ryan available for this football game. He really is the MVP of this squad, not only offensively, but the entire Boston College team. When you think of Boston College, you think of a bruising running game, keeping the ball on the ground. But Jonesy, I think Boston College runs the ball to set up the pass. Matt Ryan is critical to their success this afternoon.
Kind of a classic matchup between speed from Clemson and strength from Boston College. Boston College hosting Clemson for the first time since 1983, and they made a huge splash in the ACC last year, getting a share of the division title with Florida State in their first year. Tommy Bowden brings his team in here, and he says that he has huge expectations for this crew. Had one of his best recruiting seasons ever. And they come in undefeated after an impressive win last week, 54-6 against Florida Atlantic University. Meanwhile, his counterpart across the field is Tom O'Brien in his 10th season as the head coach of Boston College. One more win for him. Number 68 will tie him for the winningest coach in school history. Just a couple of storylines going into today's football game. Jacoby Ford and C.J. Spiller will be back deep to accept the kick from Ryan Oliger for Boston College. Boston College winning the opening coin toss, but deferring to the second half, so the Tigers will receive. This is the 16th meeting all time between these two teams, now squaring off in league play in the ACC. A line drive kick goes through the back of the end zone, past Ford, and Will Proctor will take the reins of the offense on Clemson's 20-yard line. Proctor is a 6'2", 210-pound senior. Waited 4 years to become the starting quarterback. There's a look at the offensive unit for Clemson. They have the entire starting lineup back from a season ago. Richardson, Fry, Bennett, and Marion Dukes up front. We've got a couple of talented running backs, 3 of them in all, that we will see today. Will Proctor last season threw just 31 passes in all. So although he's a senior, he's still green in many respects. First down and 10 for Clemson. And Proctor is going to throw. Actually, he tucks it underneath and runs. And that's an extra dimension that he gives Clemson that Whitehurst didn't quite have, his predecessor, as Proctor picks up about 8 yards on the play. Let's take a look at the Boston College defensive unit. Up front, it's Giles, Grace, Willis, and Larkin. But the key to this team are the linebackers. That's the strength. Pruitt, Jalon Dunbar, one of the 3 tri-captains. And Brian Toal, a guy who we will see on both sides of the ball today. He also is their short yardage back. Second down and about 2 to go. The give is to Davis, and Davis is brought down apparently about a yard shy of the first down at about the 29-yard line. Nice tackle there up front by Nick Larkin. It'll be third down and short.
Well, and as we watch the Clemson offense work early, they're going from a no huddle, and this is not uncommon for Clemson. And they're rarely in a hurry at the line of scrimmage. They get the call in, and oftentimes they will check calls from the press box. Will Proctor will go ahead and relay that call to his offensive line and then the skill play.
Proctor with time going up top. Lots of contact and a great catch made by Aaron Kelly across midfield at about the 44-yard line. He was working against Larry Anam, the shorter corner. That's 6'5" against 5'11".
And for those of you that think that Will Proctor is not capable of threatening all segments of the field, much like Charlie Whitehurst did a year ago, watch this post corner ball. Beautiful play by Kelly, nice route, and a perfectly thrown ball from Proctor.
A 24-yard pickup for the Tigers and another first down. They come out again in a 4-receiver set, a trips right formation. Pressure on the backside, and it's incomplete as Proctor took a big hit that time by number 52, Austin Giles. And he's the guy that they're hoping will have the same type of impact ultimately as Kiwanuka did last year.
I'll tell you, he'll have a lot of impact in this football game if they keep on letting him come backside naked. And Will Proctor, this Clemson offense, very lucky to retain the football.
They turned Giles loose that time, made a big hit. Second down and 10 from the 42 for the Tigers. Little shovel pass to Merriweather, and he's brought down immediately at the 43-yard line. Reggie Merriweather got it, and Jerry Willett made the stop right as he caught the ball. It'll be third down and long for the Tigers.
Now, when you start a football team, I think the way you start a championship football team is you start up front. And for Tommy Bowden, along the offensive line, 5 returning starters, including 3 all-ACC candidates on the left side. Great way to create a foundation for this offense in the 06 season.
Little blitz coming by Boston College, and it's incomplete, intended for Kelly.
Wow.
Well, we talked about the MAC, and last week we had Northern Illinois against Ohio State. Upset didn't happen, but happened today. Cole Cason in the ballgame punting for the Tigers from his own 47. DeJuan Tribble fields it at the 12-yard line for Boston College, and that's where they'll start their first offensive series. First down and 10 for Boston College at the 17. A little draw play here to L.V. Whitworth, and Whitworth brought down just across the 20-yard line by Jock McKissick. Take a look at the Eagles offense. Ryan, the quarterback. Whitworth and Callender will get a lot of carries in the backfield, but as is the story at Clemson, one of the stories for Boston College, the offensive line, and they have a wonderful tradition of talented offensive linemen at Boston College over the years. Those 3 guys holding the key to their success offensively today. Second down and 6. Ryan, incomplete out of the backfield, intended for Whitworth. It'll be third down and long for Boston College.
Matt Ryan, a bit of a misfire on the swing pass outside.
Here's a look at the Clemson defense. Antonio Clay, Nick Watkins, and Maurice Nelson, the strength of the defense. The linebackers, they had to shuffle the deck a little bit because of the injury to Waters. Clay moving into the middle from his strong linebacking position. Third down from the 20-yard line for Boston College. Third down and 6. Out of the shotgun, Ryan wasn't ready for the snap. And it's going to be marked at about the 1-yard line. An incredible miscue on their opening series. And Clemson has Boston College pinned deep. It's fourth down. Kevin Sheridan, the center.
Now, Ryan was surprised by the snap. It was not an accurate snap, and the ball was snapped with a little more velocity than usual, and you could see Matt Ryan struggling. He was not very mobile getting back to cover the football. Nice play, though, to avert disaster underneath the shadow of his own goalpost there, Mark.
And now in comes the punting unit for Boston College. And I'll tell you what, there's about 6,000 or 7,000 orange-clad Clemson fans right down there in the end zone on top of Boston College's punter.
Well, those are the types of plays where you worry about your starter re-injuring that ankle.
Yeah, John Ayers punts us out of his own end zone. A low line drive punt. goes out of bounds at about the 38-yard line. So Clemson, on its second offensive sequence of the game, will have good starting field position. Back here in Chestnut Hill, Massachusetts, Clemson on its second offensive sequence of the ball game, lining up out of the eye. First down and 10 from Boston College's 40-yard line. They hand it off to Davis on the draw play, and Davis powering forward down to the 24, where he's tackled by Nick Larkin. We should mention the fact that B.J. Raji will not be playing for Boston College. He is their stout defensive lineman. Why? Well, it goes back to last week in their victory at Central Michigan. Keep an eye on the spot shadow. He threw a punch, and that constitutes a half-a-game suspension via ACC rules. So he will not be in the game in the first half. He'll be in there for the second half, and he is arguably their best defensive lineman. Second down and 18 for Clemson. They hand it off once again down to the 23 is James Davis. There's a look at Raji, 6'5", 340 pounds. So between him and the guy that plays beside him, Ron Brace, that's about 700 pounds of defensive lineman.
Yeah, about a third a ton. And Brace and Raji, Rob Spence, the Clemson offensive coordinator, said, I think the strength of this defense for Boston College are the defensive tackles inside.
Clemson has to get to the 6-yard line for the first down. Proctor, he can make it happen with his feet. Nice straight arm by Proctor, and he's brought down just inside the 10 at about the 8-yard line. He gave a nice straight arm and shook Larry Anam. And you know, last year they had troubles inside the red zone, inside the 20. Proctor gives them a better dimension, better opportunity to score because of his feet.
Well, he does. He adds that aspect of mobility they didn't have with Charlie Whitehurst. And an early decision here, 4th and 2, maybe 4th and 3 for Tommy Bowden. I think a solid decision to get points on the board in a very key early September ACC game.
Chad Dean going to attempt a field goal from about 26 yards out. He was 2 for 3 last week in their win against Florida Atlantic. And he knocks this one through, and Clemson strikes first here in the regular season opener in conference play for Tommy Bowden's team. Dean now 3 of 4 on the season. Clemson out of the gate quick. That last scoring drive by Clemson, 8 plays, eclipsing 31 yards after the miscue, the snap from Matt Ryan. They used up 3.5 minutes on the clock, and they cashed it in with a 26-yard field goal. See if the Eagles can counter here. And they fumble the kickoff return. Jeff Smith, the freshman, didn't get an opportunity to use his blinding speed, and he's brought down at the 7-yard line. For more on Boston College and an injury, let's go to Stacy.
Yeah, Jonesy, you guys may have noticed in the last defensive series, linebacker Brian Toal was not in the game. He's got some stiffness right now in his right shoulder. Now, recall back to last year against NC State. He suffered a big-time injury, pinched nerve that affected his left shoulder. He missed all of spring ball. We'll keep an eye on him. It is his right shoulder. We don't know if it's related to the previous injury, but we'll keep an eye on him for you guys, Mark.
All right, Stacy, that's interesting because he also is their short yardage and goal line situation back. Andre Callender now in a tailback for Boston College. He gets the call across the 10 to the 12-yard line. So we saw Whitworth on the first series. This is Callender, the 5'11 junior, had 116 yards against Clemson in last year's victory down in Death Valley.
Well, they have the luxury of playing 2 backs, a couple backs that are juniors that combined for over 1,500 yards last year. And Callender and Whitworth are both experienced and very comfortable running the ball between the tackles.
On 2nd and 7, Ryan with a ton of time and overshoots Callender out of the backfield. And Northern Illinois knows how that feels, don't they? That's how they lost in the championship game tackling last year in the conference.
Luke Getzey with a great comeback drive to win the game in that MAC championship game against Northern Illinois.
On 3rd and 7, Ryan has it batted down to the line of scrimmage by Philip Merling of Clemson. And it's 4th down once again. Boston College will have to punt deep from its own end zone.
Now, Matt Ryan does not have his usual movement in the pocket. And he's not a Will Proctor type quarterback. He's not a threat to get outside and create problems with his feet. But that left ankle, you can see very early in this game that it's not allowing him to move and find seams and creases to deliver the ball downfield.
John Ayers will punt, standing about 4 yards deep. Keep an eye on Jacoby Ford. He's the punt return man. He returned one 92 yards for a touchdown last week. This time he watches it bounce at midfield. And once again, Clemson will start from about the 49-yard line. First down and 10. This is the second consecutive time that Clemson has started their drive inside Boston College territory. Now they have Spiller and Merriweather out of the backfield, going up top. Incomplete, intended for Rendrick Taylor in the end zone. That time Proctor threw it into coverage. Dewan Tribble was back there to bat it away.
Rendrick Taylor was trying to get free down the middle of the football field. Tribble really the featured cornerback for Boston College. Now, Will Proctor is not just a quarterback who hurts you with his feet and on the roll out short to intermediate routes. He's capable of threatening a field vertically. He's shown an ability to throw the deep ball along the lines of a Charlie Whitehurst.
There's a lot of weapons around him to do that as well. Second down and 10. Blitz coming. Nice catch by the hot receiver. He goes right back to Rendrick Taylor. He's going to mark the ball just shy of the first down. Actually, it's going to be close.
Well, we talked about Rendrick Taylor on the prior play getting down the field. How about the size of Rendrick Taylor? He's a hybrid player, they call him, Mark Jones. Yeah. And a super athletic tight end, somewhere in between an athletic tight end and a big wide receiver.
He is first team all-airport team. Had a chance to see him down on the field before the game. Looks great in the airport and on the field.
Well, what a job stretching out and making that reception. Not a well-thrown ball by Proctor.
3rd and 1. Hits the hot receiver again for the first down. That's Stuckey. And Stuckey brought down at the 11-yard line. Stuckey shows you why he was first team all-ACC a season ago.
Well, you have Stuckey, you have Kelly, and then you have Rendrick Taylor. Will Proctor has all the tools. They're not going to ask him to win football games. They're going to ask him to distribute the football.
This game, second down, 21 to go for the Tigers. And out and up, complete, touchdown, Grisham. Tyler Grisham on the receiving end of the touchdown pass from Will Proctor, 21 yards for the touchdown. And what a move he made to get in the end zone. Proctor threw a BB. His 4th touchdown pass of the season, the 7th of his career. Dean in for the extra point for the Tigers. And Clemson coming in here leading 10-0 now with 1:30 to go in the first period. That's the first career touchdown for Grisham.
Yeah, this is an out and up. This is a double move. You're going to get the out move, and then he's going to turn it upfield. A very well-run route, but how about this ball from Will Proctor? He fit that into a 3-foot by 3-foot window, and we're getting a taste of not only the arm strength, but the accuracy from the quarterback position. I think this is surprising some of the Clemson faithful, the way that Will Proctor is throwing the ball early. He showed some real signs last week, even though it was against Florida Atlantic.
Yeah, you always respect players like that who wait their turn 3, sometimes 4 years to get their opportunity in the face of the temptation of transferring to another program. Here's the return starting at the 3. That's Smith, who fumbled last time. Jeff Smith, nice return out to the 48-yard line. He is arguably the fastest player ever to wear a Boston College uniform. And Dean pushed him out of bounds.
He didn't push him out of bounds. Dean delivered a blow here. Jad Dean, one of the top returning place kickers in the country. Watch the hit he lays on.
Hey now.
Tremendous field position for Boston College.
First down and 10 from the 47. Little counter here as L.V. Whitworth Down to the 45, and Clemson sure could use Waters, couldn't they, Stacy?
Yes, Mark, no doubt they could. I'm joined by Anthony Waters, just tore his ACL last week against Florida Atlantic, and I know that you're a big component to this defense. Tommy Bowden said that you're the biggest playmaker. How did you address the team before the game, Anthony?
Before the team, I basically told the guys, I'm out. So, somebody got to step up now. It's just an opportunity, for Antonio Clay, Cavell Connor, or anybody else that's going to play linebacker spot. I just told them, no matter what, they got to go all out. We can't bring back what I did. I told my ACL I'm out. It's done with. It's just a fact, and still got to go out and play.
What's your schedule, the schedule of recovery for you in terms of surgery?
I'm scheduled to go September the 18th. It's on a Monday.
Now, any chance that you'll be back for the bowl game? ACLs are tough to come back from, but it's happened before.
Right now, I'm just going to take it one day at a time. First thing first. And have the surgery, hopefully rehab and everything goes good. I just take it from there.
All right, Mark, we'll send it back up to you, and thank you, Anthony, for joining us.
All right, Stacy, nice interview. You always feel terribly, David, for a guy who has an opportunity like he did last year, Anthony Waters, potentially to be a high draft pick. The NFL committee said that he was maybe around a third-round pick, so he decided to come back and get his degree, become the first player from his family, first person from his family to graduate from college. And he's not the only one that is injured. Tremaine Billy also was hurt, so 2/3 of that Clemson defense on the sidelines right now. One of those freak things that sometimes happen. The first 15 minutes of football in the books from Chestnut Hill, Massachusetts. The Tigers leading in this ACC opener. You're watching ESPN on ABC. We are back in Chestnut Hill, Massachusetts. I'm Mark Jones along with David Norrie and Stacey Dales down to the field. Clemson leading 10-0 here at the start of the second quarter. Boston College with the football. Matt Ryan going up top, has a man open. And he overshot Kevin Challenger, his receiver. Missing that one by mere inches. It'll be third down and long coming up for Boston College. That was a golden opportunity.
That's a throw you have to hit, especially if you're Matt Ryan. And highly unusual that Matt Ryan didn't take advantage of Challenger. Challenger ran a terrific route. And Challenger is the guy that really threatens a defense with his change of direction, the way he sets up defensive backs. Matt Ryan missed a big opportunity on that last play.
Challenger and Gonzalez, two talented wide receivers lined up to the left of Ryan on this third down. But he comes over the middle complete to his favorite target this year. Ryan Purvis, the tight end, has a first down for the Eagles. At the 21-yard line of the Tigers, a pickup of 16 yards. Ryan Purvis caught 5 balls last week against Central Michigan. Boy, he's looking good.
Yeah, the offensive coaches for Boston College said we're playing with backups this year, guys that have been backups in the past. But you're right, Mark. Matt Ryan still not looking comfortable. And he talked about his left ankle with the injury. And, of course, you plan on the right foot. That's the good news. The problem is you transfer your weight to that front foot, and I don't think he's comfortable yet throwing the ball from the pocket.
See if he can work it out on first and goal for Boston College. He does work it out. Challenger, touchdown. Kevin Challenger with his second touchdown catch of the season. And Ryan looked pretty good on the last part of that drive to finish it off. Oliger in for the extra point, and Boston College now within 3 points of Clemson. Challenger out of Montreal, just a few hours north of here. That puts Boston College right back in this football game. You're watching ESPN College Football on ABC. Catch moment to give Boston College its first touchdown of the game. The lead now down to 3 points. Matt Ryan overshot a couple of receivers on that drive, but ultimately cashed in the drive with a touchdown. Sprained his ankle last week in the victory against Central Michigan. There was a lot of speculation coming into this game as to whether he would be fit enough to go. The answer was yes, even though he didn't start practicing with the team full time until Thursday. Here's the kick from Oliger. Going to come down to Jacoby Ford at the 6. And Ford going east-west, brought down shy of the 20. First down and 10 coming back the other way. Proctor had trouble with the snap. And he almost threw an interception at the 20-yard line through the hands of Tyron Pruitt. How important and significant is this sequence defensively for Boston College?
Well, you like to keep field position, and defensive coordinators preach to their defense, especially defenses that are championship defenses. You have a sudden change situation, you got to go out and you got to lock things down and get the ball back in 3 plays. And Clemson, I can't tell you how big a defensive stand that was down on the goal line. Defensive coordinators talk about stopping teams inside the 5 as well.
Spiller and Merriweather, the backs. Beside Proctor, and out of the backfield, it's going to be Spiller, the freshman, in space, where he is lethal. Shaking, rocking, lacerating that defense. C.J. Spiller with the turbo kicking in. C.J. all the way. 82 yards. A demoralizing and deflating sequence for the Boston College defense. Shows you why he was the sprint champion in the state of Florida in high school in 2006. C.J. Spiller goes over 80 yards for the score and gets his first career touchdown in the process. Clemson now leading 17-7. What a swing of momentum. Boston College within a yard of going ahead. Now they trail by 10 points, David.
Well, and it's been a long time since I have seen a true freshman running back flash this kind of display. I mean, he makes Pruitt miss, Morris misses, Silva.
Tom had a shot.
That showed me some cutting ability that we don't see from many senior backs across the country. This is one of the top 10 running backs in the country coming out of high school. What a play.
Ran for over 5,500 yards in high school football out of Lake Butler, Florida. Had 93 touchdowns in his high school career. Well, you talk about how lethal speed can be. A career-long pass by Proctor, 82 yards, but in fairness to Proctor, I think the other guy did most of the work on that one. Let's see how Boston College responds here on the kickoff. From the 8-yard line, it's Smith, who had a nice return on the last one. Smith out in space, and again turns it out to midfield at the 50-yard line. Jacoby Ford once again pushes Smith out of bounds. A 44-yard return, just like the last one.
Well, Smith, another freshman, is keeping his team in the game. And once again, he takes a big hit to finish off the kickoff return. It was a 44-yard return earlier in the game that set up Boston College in their first score.
A 2 tight end formation, looking for the out and up. The pass complete. Down to the 15-yard line, another first down. That time it was Kevin Challenger. Boy, he runs nice routes, doesn't he?
Oh, crisp routes. And as we talked about, he can really set up a defensive back. That ball was delivered into a tight situation by Matt Ryan. Yeah, Matt Ryan has the presence in the pocket and the talent with his throwing arm to freeze defensive backs. And again, a nice job by Challenger settling down in that void.
19 yards on the pickup, play fake. Looking for Gonzalez in the end zone. And a couple of them ran into the goalpost. Fortunate to get up. Incomplete. It'll be second down and 10 coming up for Boston College.
Well, that was a dangerous play.
Yes.
You know, Gonzalez is known for laying out on balls, making spectacular catches. He's really the playmaker.
Second down and 20. Little screen pass. It's complete. Whitworth and stuck. Good hit on Whitworth that stops him short of the first down. Butler making the play for Clemson. Clemson using a lot of defensive backs. This is a very young team that Tommy Bowden has. He has 18 true freshmen playing today, and overall they've got 20 true freshmen and redshirt freshmen in action.
Yeah, they're playing quite a few freshmen, as you said, Jonesy, and getting a lot of defenders into the mix, and a good way for Tommy Bowden to see just exactly what he has moving into ACC play.
3rd and 12 blitz coming by the Tigers, and they protect Ryan very well. And he throws it out of bounds. It'll be 4th down. Good heat that time applied by Nelson for the Tigers.
Nelson was coming, and a smart play by Matt Ryan, a veteran play to throw the football away and keep his team in range for a reasonable field goal try. You want to keep touch here. You're down 10 points. Clemson really firing on all cylinders at times in the first half. And Tom O'Brien, part of the tradition here at Boston College is to keep touch, continue to stay in the football game, and make it a game in the second half.
Ryan is holding Oliger, the place kicker. Struggled last year late in the season. Got his job back this year in a tough battle and knocked this one through to erase the 10-point margin. It's down to a 7-point game now with 2:54 to go in the first half. And this is the regular season opener in the ACC for Clemson and Boston College. You're watching ESPN College Football on ABC. The city of Boston, a place where the revolutionary spirit here in New England still lives. And right now the Boston College Eagles trying to start an insurrection in the ACC, an uprising against Clemson. I'm Mark Jones along with David Norrie. Stacey Dale's joining us in just a few. A lot of ebb and flow in that first half, a lot of momentum swings. What do you figure was the difference in the first half of play?
Well, I think the difference was clearly the two plays. Callender's fumble down on the goal line, and then Spiller's catch and touchdown run, an electrifying play by a true freshman. I think we've got two red-hot quarterbacks, and I think we're going to continue to see Matt Ryan and Will Proctor light it up. These defenses have not been able to solve the passing games of either ball club.
And remember, if you're just joining us, hey, Matt Ryan came into the game questionable at best, but here's some of the key plays. Ryan handing it off to Callender, who coughed it up, put it on the ground, fumbled. Clemson got possession, and a couple of plays later, David, this was the play you were talking about. The freshman, C.J. Spiller, out of Florida, using that 10.4 100-meter speed, taking it 82 yards for the touchdown. And that was a major swing in momentum. Something that we still want to see if Boston College can recover from. Spiller, along with Davis and Merriweather, doing good work in the backfield so far for the Clemson Tigers. Boston College deferred after winning the toss, so they get a chance to receive here in the second half. And this is Smith. He has been a game breaker. Smith could go all the way. Smith like a rocket. Touchdown. Jeff Smith, 96 yards. He had 2 for 44 yards. This one, he took it all the way.
Twice in the first half, the Eagles fell down by 10 points. And both times, Smith came back with nice kickoff returns to give the Eagles field position. And this time, he's gone. This time, he takes it all the way to the kitchen. You talk about a star bursting on the scene here at Boston College.
Jeff Smith was a track star coming out of high school, the 200-meter champion out of his home state in Pennsylvania. Tom O'Brien, the head coach of Boston College, says that he might be, before it's all said and done, the fastest player ever to play at Boston College. And right now, hey, Clemson would probably agree with you.
Well, the Tigers are believers. This kickoff return unit, 3 times they've taken bad angles. And Jeff Smith, for a freshman, looks very at home. The cut to the outside, and do not turn him loose. The gap widened, Jonesy. He was running away from people.
That's Spiller who has an 82-yard touchdown already here on this kickoff return. Spiller looking for a seam. He's not going to find one. Stopped up at the 18-yard line. And now let's take a look at our Pacific Life game summary as Boston College starts to seize some of the momentum back, as Clemson had a decided edge in total yards, over 140 yards more than Boston College in the first half. A pretty well played game with respect to turnovers, just the one fumble by Boston College.
Yeah, and again, you can't help but think Boston College missing Brian Toal down on the goal line. The 208 yards passing in the first half by Will Proctor really pops out at you.
And there's a look at number 90, David. B.J. Raji, the starting defensive tackle, back in the game for Boston College. He missed the first half because of a league-mandated suspension. And a fumble snap by Proctor. And he wisely throws it away. Second down and 10, and boy, the crowd now very vociferous. Spiller very introspective, and young man that believes a lot in his faith. Second down and 10. It's going to be Spiller time. C.J. Spiller tiptoes out of bounds at the 24-yard line, moving the chains for another first down, and Rendrick Taylor, at his size, delivered a blow for a nice block there.
Yeah, Taylor did do a job on the outside, and if you're going to play for Tommy Bowden, you're going to be a blocker at the wide receiver position. And it calls to mind a guy who went to the NFL, Rod Gardner. And while he was a great pass catcher and still is at the NFL level, he was called upon as a physical blocker outside. Clemson has the size outside to get some things done on the perimeter.
Little jailbait screen. Stuckey put it on the ground. And this time, Boston College got it. Francois. They won't need a video review for this one. That's for sure. As Robert Francois, the 6'4" sophomore, comes up with the loose ball after the fumble. Proctor completed the pass to Stuckey, but he let it loose. You're watching ESPN College Football at ABC.
Taking a look at the fumble again, the jailbreak screen inside. Watch Jalon Dunbar get a right hand in. Stuckey looking for the goal line, and he gives up the football.
They hand it off on 1st and 10. L.V. Whitworth getting the carry down to the 9-yard line, and Clemson was moving the ball well, and there's a look at Dunbar.
If you're going to play running back for Tom O'Brien, you're going to do a couple things. Number one, you're going to secure the football, and we'll see plenty more at Calendar. But also, you're going to learn to get the ball north and south and be able to cut that ball vertically. Whitworth working well on this drive.
2nd and 8. Complete at the 30-yard line to number 13, Taylor Saleh. And he picks up another Boston College first down out at about the 33.
Taylor Saleh is the wide receiver for Boston College. It really gives you the top-end speed. He's a threat to go deep. And when you think of Boston College, Jonesy, sometimes you think of a physical team, a plodding team, but guys like Saleh and Jeff Smith bring a new aspect to this team.
So that was Brian Toal, meanwhile, you got to look at on the sidelines with an ice pack on his shoulder. Doesn't look like he's ready to come back into the game at all. Whitworth again out to the 47-yard line. Clay making the stop, and that is a significant loss for Boston College. And as I said, Brian Toal doesn't look like he's going to be coming back into the ball game. Our presentation of college football will continue after this message and a word from our ABC stations. 2nd down and 10. And off to Whitworth. Whitworth, more of the north-south type runner. Out close to a first down at the 28-yard line.
It's nice to have two backs that you can go to. Calendar, and here's Whitworth. They combined to go over 1,500 yards a year ago. And that is superlative work up front by the big boys. And Whitworth, when you have two backs, there's competition. Whitworth running with a hungry style.
1st and 10. Whitworth gets the call again. stopped up a yard behind the line of scrimmage by Antonio Clay. Antonio Clay moved around after the injury from Anthony Waters. And 3rd down and 6. Ryan batted down at the line of scrimmage by Gaines Adams, and that's what you get from the invaluable experience from a senior like that. Got his hands up.
Gaines Adams has come alive a bit. And if there's a knock on Gaines Adams, it's that he takes plays off from time to time. But you get a look there, the wingspan, gets the left hand up, and you can't teach athleticism at the defensive end position. And when he plays with a motor, he's as good as there is in college football.
Now Ryan Olger in to attempt a field goal from 36 yards out. And he pulls it wide. Pushed it off to the left. And another blown opportunity for Boston College. They've now potentially left 10 points on the field. The fumble, a yard from the end zone, and the missed field goal. And he might be headed back to the sports psychologist's office after that one. You're watching ESPN College Football on ABC. Boston College's Ryan Olger missing a 36-yard field goal moments ago, which would have given the Eagles the lead. Instead, it's 1st and 10 back the other way for Clemson. C.J. Spiller, the lone back behind the quarterback, Will Proctor. And it's the freshman off the left side. Spiller with a nice run, good burst. And roughed up out of bounds. I thought I saw a flag on the far side of the field. Jamie Silva was in the vicinity.
Yeah, not a smart play by a veteran player.
1st down and 10. They actually called it against Dunbar, although Silva was there too. Spiller. And he fumbles it. Still loose. Clemson finally gets it and got a few yards in the process. Down to the 44. It was Stuckey that finally corralled the loose ball. And let's go so far down 31. All right, Matt, back to the action. It's Merriweather on the carry. He was stopped up at the line of scrimmage. That time Merriweather and Davis were in the backfield. Spiller, who fumbled, is on the sidelines. And it's interesting. We've seen a couple of quick hooks by the respective coaches today when their respective tailbacks have fumbled the ball.
Well, we talked about how big this game is, playing into the Atlantic Division and positioning early. Tommy Bowden's facing the Seminoles in Tallahassee next week, and I understand the quick hook.
3rd down and 4 for Clemson. Not quite in field goal range either. Proctor complete over the middle for the 1st down. Hits Harris coming out of the backfield. Dante Harris with his first touch of the football in the afternoon, and it comes at a very fortunate time for Clemson. And for more on Proctor, downstairs to Stacy.
Well, Mark, you know, he's really made Will Proctor an effort to get better and be a leader of this team. He actually, over the summer, went over to the Atlanta Falcons practice to catch up with DJ Shockley, who we remember did a great job at Georgia, taking over their team in the final season and taking them to an SEC championship. He wants to do the same thing here. Shockley told him, just have fun, lay it all on the line, Mark.
Yeah, that's right. That's a good point. He told Proctor, don't try and get 4 years worth of memories in one season. 3rd and 12. Up top, complete for a 1st down, Taylor, and then some. And a late flag thrown on the sidelines as well. Rendrick Taylor making the reception. And a clutch, soft touch that time from Will Proctor, picking up 24 yards. Let's see what this flag is all about, too. There's a look at Taylor. Last season, disappointed, had a broken hand. A personal foul against Boston College. Well, there's a look at Taylor. Talked about his physicality. And Silva shaken up on the play. There's Taylor. Saw him on the field. Do you know who he looks like right now? He reminds me of David Boston when Boston was in the NFL. I mean, that size and speed. I mean, he is yoked up. 230 pounds, 6'2", great speed, had the broken hand last year, had a couple of drop passes. He sweated the fact that, hey, maybe they're going to change me to a linebacker, but He's back doing his thing as a wide receiver right now. First and goal to go for Clemson, looking for the go-ahead score as Jamie Silva is coming out of the ball game. A critical loss, their leading tackler a season ago. Davis in for him. From the 8-yard line, the backside of the eye. It's Davis. And he's brought down for a loss of about 1 by Rosellis Bowman. Clemson moving in from the 9 this time, second and goal.
Look out for play action right here.
Stuckey in motion. They give it to Davis, a gaping hole. Touchdown. A 9-yard score for the sophomore. That last lunge got him in, or did he get in? Look at the knee.
That's a great effort, and I think that he did keep those knees above turf level just long enough to stretch the ball over the goal line.
Looked like his knee hit back at the 2-yard line.
Yeah, the left knee did hit back near the 2-yard line, but the question is, did he have the football across the goal line? And from that angle, he did not.
We're going to take a look at this, and remember, the standard is there must be indisputable video evidence.
There's indisputable video evidence that the runner was down into the ball he placed at the 1-yard line. Check it out.
Time to man up. Third and goal for the Tigers. They spotted at the 1. Full house backfield. Davis gets it. No problem. Touchdown, Tigers. His second rushing touchdown of the season, the 11th of his career. You don't need the video for that one. Save it for Bob Saget. Clemson taking a 6-point lead. And Dean in for the extra point. Took him a play extra to do it. And Clemson right now hanging on to a 7-point lead. Courtesy of James Davis. They took the first one away, but you know what? Right now, number 1 is looking qualified to be satisfied. Tigers with the lead. Boston College trying to counter. When we come back, you're watching ESPN College Football on ABC. Clemson with an 80-yard touchdown drive, leading by 7. Will they kick it to Jeff Smith? They get it to him. He got them for a 96-yard kickoff return for a touchdown last time. Smith got to the edge and pushed out of bounds at the 42. David, I got to ask you, why would you kick it to Jeff Smith?
We're dealing with kickers, Jonesy. I mean, you can't always, you tell the kicker to kick the ball to the return man on the left. They don't always get it done. And, you know, with the way that Jeff Smith has been returning the football on kickoffs, I think you kick the ball out of bounds. Wow. And you let Boston College take over at the 35.
Better than the 42 where it is right now. 8 minutes to go, and this is the conference opener for BC and Clemson. Ryan with plenty of time. And through the arms of Kevin Challenger. You won't see him drop many passes like that. Second down and 10.
Oh, and with less than 8 minutes to go in this game, a terrific drive by Clemson to take the lead. How about the play by Will Proctor on the 3rd and 12, the post corner route to Taylor.
A pivotal play. Kept the drive alive. 2nd and 10 coming now for Boston College.
And if you're Challenger, you can't afford to have a drop on this drive. That was a good opportunity for Matt Ryan and this offense to get off to a nice start, create a 2nd and short situation.
Pressure coming, and Challenger comes right back and makes the catch for the first down at the 47-yard line. That's the kind of supreme confidence that Ryan has in his top returning receiver.
Oh, and Challenger, you know, That's really a tribute to a young football player's ability to come back from a bad play. I mean, you mentioned his route running ability, Mark. He is a technician, and to get inside and face the contact, come up with a big catch.
First down and 10. Handoff goes to Andre Callender, brought down by Gaines Adams. Adams made some very impressive plays defensively for Clemson during that last sequence, the last drive. Approaching 7 minutes to go, and remember, the clock keeps running. Whenever the ball is ready and spotted and the clock is ready to go, they'll run it. 2nd and 5. Ball spotted at the 42-yard line. Anthony Waters tore his ACL last week against FAU. He's done for the season. But he's inspiring his teammates from the sideline. 2nd down and 5. Play fake, and it's complete at the 33-yard line to Taylor Soleil. That's a first down. Chancellor made the hit. Looking for the out and up again. Ryan up for grabs. There's a fight for it. Who's got it? Hamlin was there first, and it's Clemson football. Michael Hamlin with the pick. It might be deja vu all over again, because remember, Ryan had 2 picks last year late.
This is a double move, but that's Merling, 94, and he's going to get up into Matt Ryan. Doesn't get much contact, but he affects the delivery of the football. And Hamlin, you know, you talk about the players on this Clemson defense that had to step up with the absence of Billy, the absence of Waters. A nice play by Merling, the impact defensive end, and Hamlin capitalizes.
Hamlin was the defensive player of the week last week for Clemson. He graded out the highest, and it looks like they're going to review the video.
The previous play is on the review.
Now keep in mind that they're going to be looking for 2 things on this review. Was it a simultaneous catch, or did the ball touch the ground? Both players go up for the football, and I believe they may rule the challenger had the football at least simultaneously, and a simultaneous catch, football fans, goes to the offense.
Now that angle reveals that maybe Hamlin might have had it a little more than Challenger.
Well, Hamlin did come away with the football here. And you know, the question is, was Challenger on his back here? And at that time, is that a simultaneous catch? If possession is gained after they both simultaneously catch the football and one player is on the ground, which Challenger was, that leaves it open to some interpretation. That's a tough call.
But the key is there must be indisputable video evidence.
After review, there's indisputable video evidence that BC player had the ball and was down.
Wow. We talk about a catastrophic result potentially for Clemson.
Well, there are a lot of Clemson Tiger fans I know out there that are saying, come on, that is that is not right. But keep in mind, Challenger, he's on the ground. The ball has not quite come out. I mean, it's just a split second. And even if it's a simultaneous catch and Challenger goes to the ground, it doesn't matter what happens after Challenger is on the ground.
There's the reaction of Tommy Bowden. Well, the one thing you can say about video replay, it may take a minute or 2, but if they get the call correct, can't have a problem with it, can you? First down and 10 at the 14-yard line. Not only do they get credit for the catch, it's a first down for Boston College. Callender, the deep back, a 2 tight end formation. Into the boundary they go. Callender made 1 tackler miss, but he's pushed out of bounds back at the 13-yard line by Philip Merling.
That's a tough break for a defense. Again, Hamlin making a great play, but I think he just pulled the ball away just a split second late. No doubt he had possession when the pile.
Wow, and Hamlin's on the sidelines. Doesn't look like he's coming back in anytime soon either. Not sure whether he got rolled up on in the pile or what the deal was. Second down and 9 for Boston College, the backside of the I. Calendar's the deep back. Complete. Brought down at the 1-yard line. Tony Gonzalez with another clutch reception for Boston College. A pickup of 12, first and goal for the Eagles.
Oh, do we have a great one going here at Boston College? And who else but Tony Gonzalez? When this team gets in a pinch, when they need a big catch, Gonzalez is there to make the play. He's the go-to guy and shows a great feel for working in the gut of the defense. Nice ball from Ryan.
Whitworth the deep back out of the eye. Ryan keeps it. No signal. No signal. Still no touchdown signal. Did they lose him in the pile? No, it's second down. Surprising to see Ryan do the quarterback sneak on that bad wheel.
Not at all. That's a safe play. You do not want to give a defense a chance to get penetration. He's a big quarterback, goes close to 6'6", 225. I think they'll sneak again here.
Second and goal. Keeps it again. This time he scores. Touchdown, Eagles. Nine-play drive eclipsing 58 yards and 1 point short of tying this game up. Oliger knocks it through, and it's 24 apiece with 4:59 to go in this, a very compelling ACC conference opener for Boston College and Clemson. Last year down in Death Valley, they went into overtime before BC finally won 16-13. A great Saturday, as always, in college football. Spiller at the 10. And Spiller tripped up at the 28-yard line. As 2nd and 7 for Proctor. Little fake. Stuckey again. Depends on where they mark this, but Stuckey looks like he's going to be about a yard short of the first down. It'll be third down, about 1 to go for Clemson with 3:51 to go.
And with the tie game, if the defense is going to give them to you, you want to take some of those easy throws. And I'll take my chances with Stuckey on a swing route and a defense playing loose on the perimeter. Those are easy yards. Big third down, Jonesy.
See what they do here, partner. Davis stopped up. No first down. A loss of about 1 or 2 on the play. And Boston College comes up with a huge surge up front. Keith Willis leading the way for the Eagles. And Clemson, you would think, will punt now. BC with 2 timeouts remaining.
Well, it hasn't always been easy for this Eagle defense. Clemson with some big plays. At times they've run the ball well on the ground, but when it mattered most, the Eagles defense came up big and they got the ball back for their offense and Matt Ryan.
Chasing to punt. Juwan Tribble standing at his own 24-yard line for Boston College. Jason gets up a nice high towering spiral. And a fair catch called at the 31-yard line by Tribble. A great finish coming up here in Chestnut Hill, Massachusetts. Ryan wasn't even supposed to play. Big defensive play made up front by Keith Willis. A subsequent punt, 1st and 10 now for the Eagles. Out of the backfield, complete. It's Whitworth. And Whitworth chopped down at the 35-yard line. Now, while we are away during commercial, Matt Ryan, his voice intoning vehemently on the sidelines, pumping up his troops. That is the chiseled look of a leader on the sidelines. His face, the picture of intensity. 2:45 to go. 2nd down and 7. Whitworth again. And brought down right at the 35-yard line. It'll be 3rd down and about 7 to go for Boston College. Good pressure up front by Gaines Adams, who seems to be getting a little stronger, David, as the game goes on.
Oh, he's really come alive in the second half, and that was a dangerous ball outside. Cavell Connor, the redshirt freshman, really closed on Whitworth, and this is a huge play here because if you don't convert, you really can't control the clock. You give Will Proctor and his offense plenty of time to come back down the field.
Ryan rolling out. Is it complete? Incomplete at the sideline. Out of bounds, and it's 4th down for Boston College with 2:01 to go. 4th and 7. So an equally impressive defensive sequence by the Clemson crew.
That's a great job by the Tiger defense to raise up and take Boston College 3 and out. And now clearly advantage Clemson. Clemson's going to get the ball with not bad field position. Now Will Proctor has done a great job throughout this game under pressure. We're going to see what he's made of here in a drive that could win the ball game for the Tigers.
Air standing on his 21. Jacoby Ford, who returned a punt for a touchdown last week on his own 26. Ford looking for a chance to return it. But instead he watches it bounce, and it takes a propitious roll for Boston College all the way down to the 11-yard line.
Wow.
And Will Proctor looking to seize the moment. This is the moment he's waited 4 years for. It's his time to shine after the grind. We'll be back. After the good roll on the punt, it was a 54-yard punt. Jacoby Ford, the freshman, watched it roll. Davis takes it between the tackles out to the 15. And David, how does it change the complexion of things now after that punt?
Well, Jacoby Ford's a freshman, and the last thing you want is for him to play it risky. If he makes a fair catch here, Clemson's going to get the ball at about the 26-yard line. But he plays it safe, and you can't blame him for that. And now all of a sudden, Clemson has to play conservatively. There's a risk-reward factor here. And Clemson wants to pick up a 1st down, but I think they're comfortable taking this into overtime with this field position.
Second. Nice cutback move by Davis. Davis with a nice gain out to the 39. We're looking for a block from Akeem Robinson, but Robinson might have moved up front. No flag on the play. It stands as a 20-yard gain, 1st and 10.
Yeah, I think Akeem Robinson moved early on the snap. Let's take a look at him right here. I mean, that, how do you miss that one?
1st and 10. That's what Tom O'Brien might be asking tomorrow. Proctor stops the clock with 30 seconds to go.
And a nice play by Will Proctor. You have some timeouts. All 3 timeouts for the Tigers.
Jad
30 seconds. You know, plenty of time here with this field position to get in Jad Dean's range, Mark.
His career long is 49 yards. So they've got a ways to go. But he is 0 for 4 from beyond 50 in his career. 2nd down and 10.
And Will Proctor wants to be safe with the football in this situation. Fine, you like to win the game, you'd like to pick up some 1st downs, but this is not the time to turn the ball over.
A 3-receiver formation. Incomplete. It was in the vicinity of Chauncey Stuckey. Stops the clock with 26 seconds to go. 3rd down and 10 coming up.
And now 3rd and 10. This is critical. This is when Rob Spence, the offensive coordinator, talks to Tommy Bowden and says, you know, are we going to try to put a pass play on him to pick up 3rd and 10? And if you do, a 3rd and long is a situation when you usually pick up the riskier passes and the risk of an interception. I think, number one, they're telling Will Proctor, if you have a shot, take it, but be safe with the football. We may have to go into overtime.
Stuckey in motion at the top of your screen. He looks Stuckey's way and comes underneath. Pass complete to the tight end, Thomas Hunter, the med school student. And he's a little bit short of the 1st down, and Boston College calls timeout.
And that's what they did with Will Proctor. Proctor looked downfield. He looked to his prospects at the wideout position, didn't like the look, and then came down underneath with a safe throw.
Toal chasing into punt for Clemson, his most important punt of the day. And DeJuan Tribble back there on his own 18-yard line for Boston College. And he gets off a great one. Chasen forces Tribble to call for the fair catch at the 16. And that's as clutch as a punter can perform at that time. That's a nice kick. 11 seconds to go off the 40-yard punt. We're talking about taking knees here for Boston College?
Well,
then?
some teams will take a knee, but I'll tell you what a safe play is, and an alternative is you get some speed on the outside with Soleil and Challenger and maybe Gonzalez, and you take a shot down the field on either a Hail Mary or you might spread receivers to one side and a single to the other and try to take the single. If you can hit a big ball here, they're going to go ahead and just let the clock run out with a change of possession.
Well, last year it was tied at 10 after regulation. This year the venue's different, the intentions are the same, the score is a little different at 24 apiece. Overtime coming up from Chestnut Hill, Massachusetts. Our presentation of college football will continue after this from our ABC station. First down and 10 from the 25, Boston College. This is Calendar. A nice gain down to the 18-yard line, got about 7. A young man that's facing a little adversity tonight. He had a critical fumble at the 1-yard line, which cost them a touchdown potentially.
Well, Matt Ryan is no stranger to overtimes against Clemson. He led this team to a 16-13 win down at Death Valley, as you mentioned earlier, Jonesy, and that was on a 1-yard plunge by Brian Toal, who was knocked out of this football game early.
Second down and 3. Calendar again stopped up short of the first down. It'll be third down and a long 2, almost 3 to go. Antonio Clay, the middle linebacker, making the stop on the play. And there's some Clemson fans down at this end of the end zone.
Clemson was 5-0 in overtimes until last year, and 2 huge ACC losses. That triple overtime loss against Miami, and then of course a loss to Boston College in the first overtime a year ago. So Clemson in danger here of having another heartbreaker.
Third and a long 2. Ryan, incomplete. And Ryan Oliger, who is just 50% on the season, will come onto the field and attempt a field goal for Boston College on 4th down and 2.
Well, and that's what you ask of your defense, a defense that can come in and get a 3-and-out in a big overtime period. Tommy Bowden has to be thrilled with his defensive performance here in the first overtime.
This one coming from 35 yards out. He made one from this distance earlier, then subsequently missed from 36. Good snap, and he just punches this one through. Boston College leads by 3, but Clemson now has an opportunity on offense.
Tom O'Brien has a look of despair on the sidelines. A 2nd and short, Jonesy, and they couldn't convert. And he got a nice run play on first down. Almost every play in college overtimes are do-or-die situations, and BC really had what they wanted. A nice run on first down, but Tommy Bowden's defense stiffened on 2nd and 3rd down, turned the Eagles away.
A 2 tight end formation and 2 wideouts. First and 10 for the Tigers. Proctor, Stuckey at the 2-yard line. Chancey Stuckey makes the catch. And that ball had a feathery touch on it from Will Proctor.
What a route from Stuckey. And you're right, Mark Jones. He had to put a little touch on this ball, take a little bit off it. Not the best ballistics in the world. And 2 defenders in the neighborhood, but he dropped that ball on a spot. That could be the play of the game for the Clemson Tigers.
Merriweather and Spiller. Going to be Spiller going east-west. Oh, and he's pushed out of bounds all the way back at the 8-yard line. They strung it out nicely, and it'll be 2nd down and goal.
Nick Larkin has really played a stout second half for Boston College. Full house backfield. blocking backs clearing the way. What a play by Larkin, getting outside in pursuit on the perimeter.
Second down and goal. Davis in along with the fullback Alex Pearson. This time they line up out of the eye. Stuckey split to the top of the screen. And Clemson uses a timeout. 3-point lead for Boston College. Second and goal coming up. Will Proctor waited patiently while he got his chance in the searing hot spotlight.
And ideally, you'd like to win the game keeping it on the ground with a safe play, but I think Will Proctor is going to have to go back to the air if they're going to win in this first overtime.
Merriweather's the lone back to the right of Proctor. Stuckey in motion to the top of your screen. Proctor swallows it, and they sack him back at the 16. Larkin again. And it's third and goal. Consecutive stout plays by the Boston College defense. Frank Spaziani called up the right one that time.
Well, and a combination route at the top of the screen for Clemson, and Will Proctor does not like the picture down the football field. Did not get good separation from either receiver. Smart play to eat the football. And now Clemson faced with third and long.
Third and goal. Kelly split to the bottom of the screen. Backside pressure. It's complete. Out of the backfield, Spiller. He gets back some of the yardage, and it would be fourth and goal. In comes the field goal unit. After giving up a big play all the way down to the 3-yard line on first down, Clemson unable to punch it in. The Boston College defense, to their credit, coming up huge.
And really a missed opportunity. First and goal inside the 5. They're going to look back on the play call out of that full house backfield. Spiller losing yardage. They had the game on the line here, Jonesy.
Dean made one from 26, missed one from 52 earlier today. This one coming from 30 yards out. They got it down, and he drills it through. We're tied at 27. On to the next overtime period. Looking a lot like last year's, isn't it? We'll be back right after this.
And now you have the unusual situation in overtime where a defense has to take the field twice consecutively. Boston College defense, after coming up with a stop and a forced field goal by Dean, now they have to get right back out on the field and suck it up again. And Will Proctor back to work as well.
Rendrick Taylor is the receiver split to the bottom of your screen. Reggie Merriweather is the lone back. For the two tight end formation, they give it to Merriweather. And he got tripped up by number 90, B.J. Raji, who missed the first half of this game because of a league-imposed suspension for throwing a punch in the previous contest.
Well, Boston College came into this football game and they wanted to limit Clemson's effectiveness on the ground, and they haven't been able to do it throughout the football game, but I think they've held up fairly well here in the second half. Big second down.
Three receivers out to the top of your screen. Now Reggie Merriweather comes out to the bottom of your picture. Hunter in motion. Wide open in the end zone. Taylor. Incomplete, and there's a flag down on the near side of the field.
Well, I think if you're Boston College and this is offensive pass interference, I think you do take
Pass
the penalty.
interference. Offense, number 33. 15 yards. The play to down.
Now you lose a little field position and potentially field goal range.
Well, and this is interesting because this call is going to come away from the play. Taylor gets behind the defense, and all Proctor had to do was keep the ball in bounds.
He was wide open.
And that call came away from the play. That was not on Rendrick Taylor.
Third down and 26 as they push it all the way back to the 41-yard line.
And I think the officials got the wrong jersey number as well.
9 seconds on the play clock for Clemson. They got to get to work and fast. 3 seconds. Proctor this time finds his man at the 21. And Stuckey got hit hard but hung on to it. Tribble delivered the blow. But he got back a nice chunk of that real estate. Well, third down and about 6 to go, a pickup of 19.
And how about Chancey Stuckey? He's going to run a seam route right here and work it into the center of the field. And again, great timing by Proctor. That's a dangerous throw, but he fit the ball in. Clemson was in a tough situation there. You don't pick up a first down. They're not in Dean's field goal range. Nice little hit to finish off the play from the Boston College secondary.
Out of the shotgun. Got it. Stuckey. Short of the end zone. Less than a yard out. Silva made a game-saving, potentially tackle. And it's 1st and goal. Let's see what they do this time with the opportunity.
Chancey Stuckey has made a lot of gold in this football game by working to the middle of the field. Seam routes, slants, skinny posts. And Proctor has shown the ability to lay it on his numbers. What a ball.
Davis. Touchdown. Clemson takes the lead. They went with the sophomore, James Davis. Last year's ACC Rookie of the Year, giving Clemson a 6-point advantage.
You have 5 returning starters, all quality players across your offensive front. And they are starting to take over this football game, really exerting themselves up front.
Alex Pearson, the fullback, helping out with the blocking. Oh, it's tipped, and it's blocked. Jalon Dunbar came up with a huge play. And the lead is 6 and not 7. Dunbar, the symbol of extra effort. That could be a huge play for Boston College. You never quit on a play. And Jad Dean had his extra point partially blocked.
This is a heroic effort by Dunbar. He's going to come off the right side for Boston College. Let's go ahead and freeze it right here. And he gets both hands extended.
Boston College 1st down and 10. The carry by Whitworth. Got about 2, maybe, actually got about 4 on the play. 2nd down coming up. That'll be Whitworth getting the call.
For Dana Bible, the offensive coordinator for the Eagles, it makes 4th down decisions pretty easy.
Yeah.
This is 4 down territory on this possession until we have a result. And Matt Ryan, you can't help but think that he's going to have to come up with a play if the Eagles are going to come away with a victory.
Gonzalez is split to the top of your screen. Play fake. Ryan buys time. Almost intercepted. The fans want a flag, but it was tipped by Antonio Clay. Antonio Clay dropping into coverage, setting up 3rd and 5. Clay filling in for Anthony Waters at middle linebacker. Waters blew out his ACL last week.
Well, and Matt Ryan was under duress in the pocket. And the ball was tipped. Contact coming after the tip is legal from the secondary, but Matt Ryan really taking a risk, throwing off balance with the heat on in the pocket.
They've got to get to the 15 for the 1st down. They have to score on this possession. Challenger with the catch and the 1st down at the 12-yard line. It was Callender's reception late in regulation, a disputed one that led to the game-time score, which vaulted us into overtime.
I can't tell you how well both of these quarterbacks have played in this football game. Now, Matt Ryan is a relatively young quarterback. Will Proctor only getting his 3rd start, both giving us heroic performances in a double overtime game.
Whitworth the lone back, 2 tight ends, 2 wide receivers, ace formation. Whitworth gets it. Tiptoes over a couple of would-be tacklers down to the 6. And let's check in with another overtime finish with Matt Weiner in New York.
saving a down field goal situation. The field goal's out. So I think Boston College, they may keep it on the ground here.
Whitworth is the deep back lining up out of the eye. It's his time. LV nicely for the touchdown.
Boston College, along the offensive front, just wanted this game too badly. I mean, they were hungry the way they finished off that drive. Big extra point, Jonesy.
Oliger in for what you would think would be a routine extra point. And Boston College wins. It's over. For the second consecutive year, Tom O'Brien's team wins in overtime against Clemson. Last year, down in Death Valley. This year, at home at Alumni Stadium. Let's go downstairs to Stacey Dales.
Now, guys, I have Matt Ryan with me. Matt, when Jolan blocked that PAT, what was going through your mind?
That was a hell of a play by Jolan. You know, an awesome individual effort. Goes up, makes a huge play. Then it's on the offense to go down and score a touchdown. LV ran the ball hard. Offensive line played great, and it was awesome.
You told us you were okay, but you had some limping going on out there with that left ankle. How did you feel throughout the game?
Felt fine. I didn't feel like it affected me at all. Just went out there and played as hard as I could.
What can you tell us about the defensive performance of this team down the stretch?
Awesome. Unbelievable. You can't even explain it. They played so hard. They kept them out of the end zone. Then they let up a touchdown, and they go out and make the best block I've ever seen. So it was just a great performance by him.
3 of the last 5 years, you guys have been ranked in the top 25. This year, not so. What message have you sent to the ACC and the country?
I think we just beat the 18th team in the country, so people better respect that, and I think it makes a good statement for our team.
Congratulations. Back up to you, Mark.
An incredible finish and a great job by the quarterbacks respectively. Today's Chevrolet players of the game. That guy right there, he didn't practice until Thursday. He was on ice. He was on the back burner, limping around campus to his classes and to his quarterback meetings, but he came out here and played well. Matt Ryan and Will Proctor are Chevrolet players of the game. In recognition of their efforts, Chevrolet will make a $1,000 contribution to each school's general scholarship fund. Well, be sure to join us tonight at 8 Eastern. Woo! Can we have more of this? Tonight on ABC, Troy Smith leads top-ranked Ohio State against number 2 Texas on Saturday Night Football. For David Norrie and Stacey Dales, I'm Mark Jones saying so long from Boston College. For the second consecutive year, the Eagles clip Clemson in OT. Ryan Oliger, who missed a critical field goal earlier, comes back with the extra point to win it. And it was Jolan Dunbar with the extra effort, blocking the extra point of Clemson to put them in that position. Private Ryan, yes, all the way. Clemson losing by 1 to Boston College. So long, everybody.